I mean, there's all these shows that you wrote for that were maybe not that successful, but then not just one, not two, like this list of shows that you had a hand in. Larry Sanders Show, right? Mm-hmm. Curb.
Yep.
Seinfeld, of course.
Yes.
Modern
Family.
Modern Family, yeah. How female light were those rooms 30 years ago versus now? Was it kind of the same?
No, I mean...
It was male dominated, right?
Yes. But I've always, I've always known how to hang with men. I like hanging with men. Mm-hmm. I sort of think like if I went to a party and I didn't know anybody and there was a group of women hanging out and guys hanging out, I might go over to the guy side. Just because it wouldn't be as much as, how are you? Where do you live? What do you do? It would be a little more like...
You're probably gonna have a funnier conversation, maybe?
Well, a little more like, boy, look at that guy going in on the dip there. Like, whoa, take it easy, buddy. Like a little more about what's happening out there.
Right.
But it was like at Seinfeld, there were only 2 women writing on the show. But I always found it a tremendous advantage being a female voice because there were things that guys didn't think of, ideas, because my filter is different. Like Elaine thinks the Korean manicurists are talking about her behind her back in Korean because that happened to me. Something I thought about. Or Elaine thinks...
And she brings the father...
She brings, to translate.
Who was in Korea?
Yeah.
I mean,
See,
that's so fucking awesome.
That was so great about working there because
I'm going to find somebody who speaks Korean to see if these bitches are talking about me. So is that something that you walked into the writer's room or went to Jerry or somebody and said,
Jerry
I got this idea?
Yeah.
Jerry and Larry.
And you pitch an idea, it was 1 or 2 sentences that made them laugh in the room.
Not to be nerdy about it, but I'm trying to picture it. Did you have a set appointment with them, or did you just call them and go, hey, I got an idea, let me come tell you? Well,
this is the time when writers were all in the same place at Bradford, and
Right.
But what would happen was, because Seinfeld it's about the ideas. If you have good ideas, you'll stay. If you don't have good ideas, you'll go. So I would just say to them, like, I want to pitch you some ideas. Do you have time today? And then you would go in. And
you would pitch them together always? The two of them together?
Yes. Larry was the harder,
How often did they disagree?
A lot. You would, pitch something, and Larry had this thing he'd do with his shoulder, like, I don't know, Kat. I could see that on another show, which was like the biggest put down ever.
Wow.
But if he liked something, he would, like the Korean manicures thing.
Right.
We're doing that. That's it. We're doing that. Like Elaine thinks there are skinny mirrors at Bloomingdale's.
Yes.
See, now most guys.
Yes, we wouldn't.
Right. So I feel in that way. But it's funny how times have changed with ideas. Talking about real life, they always liked real life ideas. At the time, early 90s, I had a friend who was gay, but he wasn't out at work. Mm-hmm. He worked in banking, and he was like, they've invited me to the Hollywood Bowl. Would you go with me as my date? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then that became the episode, The Beard.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because they loved whenever you were going to go, hey, last night I went to... But, that idea, everybody's out now, so you don't need, a beard for a date.
But like anything else, comedy ebbs and flows with what's going on in the world and what's going on in society and what's being talked about. And it's got to be, topical. It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
Some comedy is just timeless. And I think that one of the things that you focus on that's endless supply of great comedy is just the day-to-day shit that annoys you. Like the wine,
Yes.
or like, I'm just so fascinated by, and so in awe of what you and other great writers do when you flesh out such a simple concept to the point where it makes it so relatable, but then it's the craft of, it's like I respond to it as a writer because I know that if I don't put this line here, or if I don't end this line with this melody, or if I end down on this note, it's not going to land the same way.
Yes.
And I wonder, I don't do that much rewriting. Hardly ever do I rewrite. Once I get an idea for something, I kind of just instinctively know what's right and what isn't. How much rewriting do you do from an original concept to an end bit where you're like, that's it, it's done?
Well, I mean, what I'm fascinated by about what you do is I can go up on stage and play around with it. I mean,
I try different ways.
Yeah. You can't go up and go, I have half a song.
Well, I could, but it wouldn't go over well.
Right. Don't take my picture or film me for this one. But I got half a song. So you can never, I mean, do you run it by other, like by Daisy? I know that she wrote your last song with you. Do you run it by another, musician? I mean, I have that.
You have a couple of people, right, that are your go-to?
Well, I get to try it out on stage. And
do you run it by anybody before that?
I'll sometimes run it by Lori, but sometimes she's a little stricter than audiences. If she doesn't like something, and then I do it in front of the audience and I like
the
it.
Answer to the answer to your question, actually, I haven't thought about this. I do have sounding board. I have a couple of sounding boards.
Yeah.
But I don't play anybody anything in process. So when I write a song, I hardly ever will just say to Daisy or my other couple of sounding boards, hey, I'm gonna grab a guitar, here's the song. Because I hear it in my head finished. So I don't want them to react or respond to a bare bones, ill-represented version. Like if I write a song just on the acoustic guitar, unless I hear it that way, I hear it with drums and bass and maybe strings and with a whole production.
Right.
So I'll go into the studio and record it because I believe in it, and then I'll say, "This is what I did today. What do you think?"